Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. Today I'm going to do something new, and it's something that I've considered doing for a while, and I'm going to talk to you about a piece of news that has come out in Hollywood. And I really like the idea of talking about my opinions on some of the big acquisitions or director hires and stuff like that. And today I'm going to be just briefly giving a quick opinion on the new announcement that has come out that D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, the creators and directors of the Game of Thrones show, that they have been hired by Kathleen Kennedy to direct Star Wars movies down the line. This immediately was like, whoa. It was a huge piece of news for many reasons. One being, I absolutely adore Game of Thrones. I've been watching it for years. It's an incredibly well-made show. And two, it's Star Wars. And I just had a lot of opinions on it, so I thought that I would share some of them with you. My initial fear when this announcement came out was that they are making even more Star Wars properties. Because we have this new Star Wars land that's being developed in Disney World in Florida. We have the episodes, next one, episode 9, coming out soon. We have the Rian Johnson trilogy, which is apparently still happening. They haven't said that it hasn't. They haven't announced that it's been called off or anything after the backlash of The Last Jedi. And if it is, I think they'll try and keep it as quiet as possible. Maybe just not even announce that it's not going to happen, but just kind of not acknowledge it until people forget, which I don't think people will. But yeah, we have those things. We still have like Star Wars Rebels is still going on. There's going to be a streaming service spin-off. And then we have the Star Wars stories, which is like Rogue One, Solo, and then the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie that they're developing and need to hire Ewan McGregor for. And so I'm a little concerned about the fact that they are just creating this tidal wave of Star Wars material, and I think it's too much. Part of the excitement of The Force Awakens was that it was the first Star Wars movie in a very long time, and I think the fact that I think when things are more spaced out, it's more effective in getting people excited, because they think, oh, I've been missing Star Wars, I can't wait to go back. But now we're not even waiting a whole year for another Star Wars film. Solo's coming out in May. I'm pretty sure it's May, or it's June. I'm pretty sure it's May though. And there's just so much happening at once with Star Wars, and I think people might get a little fatigued by it. And so I'm concerned for that reason, that they're planning on developing a whole nother spin-off line of movies. But that's just my concern, and that's the only concern I really have. Well, but I'll get to another one, but it's a small thing. But mainly I was very excited when I heard this, because the storytelling capabilities of this duo from Game of Thrones is absolutely incredible. I have watched, as I said, for years. But throughout what will be 8 seasons, they have developed an incredible amount of characters in such beautiful ways, that there's amazing story arcs. And I know that George R.R. Martin originally wrote them, but I think they did. I mean, I didn't read the books, but I can say from someone who watches the show, I think it came across really well, and the storytelling was very well done, and they're just very good at getting people excited. I mean, Game of Thrones is one of the most watched, if not the most watched, TV shows on the planet. Obviously, counter-programming would be like The Walking Dead. And then you have the Super Bowl and the Academy Awards, but those are once-a-year things. And also, HBO is different because it's not a network show. It's in its own territory. And you have to pay to watch it. But it's also the most pirated show, so that's saying something. Anyway, my point is that they're very good at drawing in an audience, and they're exceptionally good at action sequences, as we see in many episodes. I don't even know. I'm not even going to say, because I don't want to spoil when these episodes will be. But especially in season 7, man. And in the end of season 6 they're just very good at building the climax and paying it off with an incredible sequence. And obviously Star Wars, like in Rogue One and in The Last Jedi, their action sequences are just, they're getting better and better. And I think that D.B. Weiss and David Benioff will only contribute to that, and that's very exciting. Let's see what else. What do I think about this? Sorry, I'm fiddling with my pigtails. I think another concern I have about this is that transitioning from TV to movies is not always very easy, especially with the storytelling aspect. Obviously, I don't know if they'll be writing the scripts, but with Game of Thrones, they've had 8 seasons to flesh out all of these characters, and in a movie, you have an hour and a half to 3 hours, and it's a lot more complicated than it looks. I mean, I'm studying screenwriting in college right now, and it sounds easy, but when you have something like Star Wars that so many people are so in tune with and so passionate about, and it has such a fan following, I mean, you have to be very careful with the decisions you make, and Game of Thrones has its following, and Star Wars has its following, and I don't want them to hit some speed bumps making that transition. So yeah. Also, season 7, I do agree with some people that it was a little bit rushed, but personally, I was 100% okay with that because I had just watched 6 seasons of people taking an entire season to travel, stuff like that. I just felt like season 7 was very rewarding. But it's obviously very different from being a feature film to being just a season of a TV show, because you had those 6 seasons leading up to it, and you don't have 6 seasons leading up to your movie. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they make that transition, but I'm looking forward to it very much so. I did hear someone had this idea that they should be doing the streaming show instead, and I actually think that would be a great idea. I think transitioning from one property of television to another property of television would be pretty awesome. I mean, imagine them having 2 back-to-back amazing shows, and that way they don't have to worry about condensing into 2 hours or anything like that. It could be much more familiar terrain, and they already know about like production value and budgeting and all that stuff that goes into movies, because Game of Thrones is basically like a movie an episode. But again, it's very different working on TV than it is with movies, and we'll see. I think the streaming service would be a good route for them, but again, they're doing movies, and I'm okay with that. I really, really don't want Star Wars to be oversaturated in the amount of properties they put out. So that's really it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about these announcements about the directing, and let me know if you like me commenting on news in the media. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. I'm going to go to bed because I have to get up early. And if you want to check out all my Super Bowl trailer reactions, my Infinity War shot by shot, the Solo shot by shot, I'm going to try and get it done. I'm extremely busy, but I'm not that busy this weekend, and I know it kind of will be irrelevant, but I promised that I would make it, so I want to see it through. And yeah, okay, subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, if you want me to do more videos like this. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you soon.